students, Bindu is back. You have visited the plant tissue world and noted down a very interesting things about meristematic tissues and its types and differences between plant and animal tissues. Also observe tissues in some parts of the plant. Now, without getting late, let us gather more information on the remaining parts of the plant tissues like Dicot stem tissues. Dermal tissues. Before that, let us focus on the learning objectives. Learning objectives. By the end of this video, you could be able to know the characteristics of dermal tissues, various parts in Dicot stem, types of ground tissues, and vascular tissues. So, first, let us start the topic with keywords. Keywords: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem. Characteristics, features: stomata, epidermis, outer layer, transpiration, absorption, cutin, outer cover of leaf or stem in desert area, aerial, parts that are exposed to air, trachete, part of xylem. Dicot stem. What's the image? TS of Dicot stem. Already we have learned about meristematic tissue and its types. So, now focus on the characteristics of dermal tissues, then ground, and then vascular tissues. Dermal tissues. Epidermis, made up of single layer of cells, protects the inner parts. Plants in dry habitat has thicker epidermis to protect against water loss. Cells are without any spaces. Most of the cells are relatively flat. Outer side walls are thicker than the inner walls. Small pores called stomata are seen on the epidermis. Stomata are enclosed by two kidney-shaped cells called guard cells, which help in the opening and closing of stomata. Functions of stomata: transpiration, loss of water in the form of vapor; respiration, exchange of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide; epidermal cells of roots. Epidermal cells of roots commonly bear long hair-like parts that increase the total absorptive surface area and help with the function of water absorption. Epidermal cells in desert plants. In some desert plants, the outer surface of the epidermis has a thicker outer coating called cutin, which is a chemical substance with waterproof quality. Stem of desert plants. Roots of desert plants. As plants grow older, the outer protective tissue undergoes certain changes, and a strip of secondary meristem is formed. Cork. Cells on outer side are cut from this layer, which can form several layers of thick cork or bark of the tree. Cells of cork are dead and compactly arranged. They also have a chemical substance with waterproof quality on their outer surface. What could be the difference between epidermal cells and cork cells? Epidermal cells cover the entire plant body during primary growth, whereas cork cells cover the stem and root of the plant after the secondary growth of the plant. Epidermal cells in aerial parts like leaf and stem. In aerial parts of a plant, epidermal cells often secrete a waxy, water-resistant layer on the outer surface, which helps in avoiding water loss, protects from mechanical injury, protects from invasion by fungi. Ground tissues or permanent tissues. Now, let us move fast to ground tissues or permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are further divided into two types, like simple and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues are again of three types, like parenchyma, collenchyma, scalenchyma. Our complex are two types, like xylem and phloem. What's the table to remember easily? Structure: parenchyma. Simple permanent tissues. Contain living cells. Has thin cell wall. More intercellular spaces are seen. Nucleus and vacuole are prominent. Cytoplasm is dense. No thickenings are seen in borders. Collenchyma. Simple permanent tissue. Contain living cells. Has thick cell wall. Less intercellular spaces are seen. Nucleus and vacuole are prominent. Cytoplasm is dense. Borders are thickened and soft deposited with pectin and cellulose. Sclerenchyma, simple permanent tissue, contain dead cells, has thick cell wall. No intercellular spaces are seen. Nucleus and vacuole are absent. No cytoplasm, narrow lumen is seen. Borders are deposited with lignin. Location: parenchyma, present below the epidermis, next to collenchyma. If the cell contains chloroplast, this is called as sclerenchyma. And if the cell contains air spaces, it is called as aerenchyma. Collenchyma, present in leaf sheaths, internodes, stalks, below the epidermis of the stem. Sclerenchyma, present in fibers and stones, linen, hep, paper mats, hard walnut, shells, and gritty present in the skin and pulp of pears. Function: in parenchyma, gives normal support. In collenchyma, gives mechanical support and flexibility. In sclerenchyma, gives hard support and strength and protects the outer covering. Vascular tissues or permanent tissues. Definition: the tissues are made up of more than one type of cells. All these cells coordinate to perform some functions. It consists of vascular bundles called xylem and phloem. It is a distinctive feature of complex plants. Which made possible their survival in terrestrial environments. Complex permanent tissues are of two types, which are further four types as follows. Observe the difference between xylem and phloem. Let us see in detail. Xylem parenchyma. Xylem means wood. Stores food like starch and fatty acids. Helps in sideways and short-term conduction of water. Xylem tracheids. Tube-like structures. Various types of thickenings in it gives mechanical support and help in the transport of water and minerals vertically. Elongated dead cells with large cavities without any content. have lignified cell walls where lignin is absent and that place filled with pits. Xylem vessels, tube-like structures, allows to transport of water and dissolved minerals. Horizontal walls get dissolved and forms a continuous water pipe. Cell walls are quite hard, thick and lignified. Xylem fibers. These are dead. These are supportive in function. Phloem parenchyma. Flows means bark. Stores food. Helps in the transport of food. Sieve cells and sieve tubes. Tubular cells with perforated walls. Maintaining cells and transporting necessary molecules with the help of companion cells. Provide foot passage upward and downward and to new growing leaves. Companion cells. Load and unload sugars into the cavity of sieve tube members. Maintain pressure gradient in the sieve tube elements. Provide foot passage upward and downward and to new growing leaves. Phloem fibers. Dead cells. There is no role in maintenance. Provide mechanical support. Recall. Points to remember. Tissues with different kinds of cells gather to perform some function are called as complex tissues. Permanent tissues are divided into simple permanent and complex permanent. Simple permanent are again divided into parenchyma, collenchyma and scalenchyma. Parenchyma with air spaces is called as arenchyma and parenchyma with chloroplast is called as chlorenchyma. Complex tissues are of two types, like xylem, which helps in the transport of water sideways, horizontally and vertically, and the phloem, which transports food upward, downward and sideways. Sieve tubes and companion cells work together. Epidermis of aerial parts of plants secrete waxy layer that gives resistance to diseases. Stomata on the epidermis help in transpiration and respiration. Home assignment. Draw a neat label diagram of the xylem and phloem tissues.